So I talked about this job in my prior video. I wasn't sure how I was going to attack this as far as what materials, and I tested some materials on a side door. This is a big area. This is this is about the deepest area. It goes all the way, pretty much all the way around my porch. So yesterday I took this landscaping sand and jammed it down in the hole, and I used a whole bag. All the way around to here. This is the stuff I'm using. SAKRETE Leveling Sand Step 2. It's it's a nice grit. The only problem is it's damp. So I had problems jamming it in. Then today I came out and swept up all the loose stuff from yesterday. I stopped about, I don't know, 70% of the way yesterday, and I ran out of sand. Then I swept up all the loose stuff, and I was able to do another 25%. And the sand was dry because it was obviously sitting out in the sun, and it just poured right down. So it's much easier to do when it's dry. So I'm going to pour some of this out on the ground and let it dry, and then finish this. So I poured this pile out, and it's pretty, not wet, but damp. I'm just going to leave this dry here till tomorrow afternoon, till it gets powdery, and then it's much easier to pour in these gaps. Okay, the sand is now dry. Let it sit here for almost 24 hours. I'm going to scoop it up, put it in a bucket, and finish up filling this gap. Yeah, so this corner, this is a hacksaw blade. It's taken almost the entire hacksaw blade. So this dry sand should just flow right in there. So I think there's washed out tunnels under here because the water, this house doesn't have gutters, so it relies on these I guess gutters on the pavement gutters, where the water beats down and then runs down and out the back. So I'm trying to work it down in there as I go. I don't need two hands, but yeah, just working it down in, trying to get to the very bottom. Yeah, so I have a tendency to over-engineer things, so my intention was to fill in these gaps first with the sand, which I did, and then come back in with some kind of sealer to go over top of that. But it's been 3 weeks since I put the sand in, and we've had a couple torrential downpours. So the sand is not washing out, and it's keeping the water from draining down and underneath the concrete. So I'm going to leave it like it is. And what I'm doing is coming back with this sieved fine sand as spots open up, like here, that are washing out. And for the final filling up holes as they pop up, after time, after the sand settles in, I take the coarse sand and run it through a sieve to get just the fine powder that will easily pour down into the random holes that crop up. This the chunks of sand, the big pebbles, when you start trying to fill small holes, they're going to jam up the holes. The intent for me is to get down where from so many years of water running down there is washed out. So I want to keep packing it in there with trying to get the fine stuff down as deep as I can. So I just use a sieve that I don't know what this is for, grease or oil or something, but that's what I'm using. And I just run it through the sieve onto some paper, and then I'll take that fine sand that's left over, put it in a cup, and go pour it down the small holes. I'm just coming back in with the fine sand and filling those in. And again, the intent is to make sure I don't get washout underneath there, to keep the water from finding its way in there and then washing underneath the concrete. So there's still some deep channels that are settling, and I'm just going to keep coming back in and filling them with this fine sand. And it seems to be holding. I thought the sand would wash out of there, but it's packing in pretty good. So yeah, I'm going to stop here and not add any other stuff to it. The sand seems to be working good. I'll show the kind of sand. It's landscaping, I guess paving sand. So out of this whole area, there's just two little spots that are opening back up. So that's the plan. I'm gonna stop here. This is a problem solved. I got the gap fixed, and the water does stand here. It's a low spot. So I watched, we had a couple inches of rain, thunderstorm the other day. The water puddles here, as long as it's not running down and washing out underneath this concrete, I'm okay with that. Eventually it'll get, when it gets deep enough, it runs down the side and eventually dry up, but I just don't want it washing out, causing settling the concrete like I have over here. So yeah, I think I'm good to go.